Next game was the Patriots and the Cowboys, and this was an absolute beatdown. The Cowboys beat them 38-3. Mac Jones, tough day for him. I was alone on the Mac Jones as a good quarterback bandwagon, and I feel like I should be jumping off now. But this was a really tough defense, so we'll see how next week goes. 12 of 21 today for Mac, 150 yards through the air. No touchdowns, 2 picks, brutal stuff from him. Bailey Zappe came in, 4 of 9, 57 yards through the air for him. Rhamondre Stevenson led the way for all rushers. He had 14 carries for 30 yards, but no rushers really got it going in this one. Zeke Elliott in a revenge game, only 6 carries for 16 yards. Disappointing stuff there. And Mac Jones added 7 yards on the ground. Hunter Henry led the way for all receivers. I think he's a really solid tight end play week to week. 4 catches, 51 yards in a tough matchup with the quarterback playing like crap. I think this is positive news for Hunter Henry. He's a good buy low candidate, in my opinion. Demario Douglas, the rookie, had 2 catches for 45 yards on 3 targets. Kendrick Bourne just had the 2 catches for 36 on 3. DeVante Parker had 2 catches for 33. Juju Smith-Schuster had a catch for 14. Mike Gesicki had a catch for 12. Rhamondre Stevenson just the 2 catches for 10 yards. And Ezekiel Elliott had 2 catches for 6. So this is what the passing offense for the Patriots is going to look like. Hunter Henry is going to get his looks, but it's going to be super evenly distributed throughout these receivers here. Rhamondre Stevenson, even when all signs were pointing towards Ezekiel Elliott having a big game back in Dallas, there was even reports that he was taking most of the starters reps in practice. That did not come to fruition. This is Rhamondre Stevenson's backfield for the long term. He's a borderline play every week because Zeke is still there and he hasn't been very good so far. And this offense just hasn't really gotten it going like that to where Rhamondre can really show what he does. So, it depends on what you have also. I wouldn't say he's a for sure sit or a for sure play at this point. And Mac Jones, I want to hold off before I completely fall off the bandwagon of him being a good quarterback. I want to see what he does against a worse defense next week, but him getting replaced by Bailey Zappe is not a good sign. For the Cowboys, Dak Prescott was 28 of 34, 261 yards, a touchdown, and no picks. Solid day from him. This is kind of the Dak Prescott special here. High completion percentage, middle of the road yards, not a lot of touchdowns. Very middle of the road stuff from him. And Cooper Rush had 2 passes for 20 yards. He came in with the blowout there. Tony Pollard led the way for all rushers. He had 11 carries on 47 yards. Devontae Turpin had a rush for 46. CeeDee Lamb had a carry for 12. Rico Dowdle had 3 carries for 9. Deuce Vaughn had 8 carries for 9. Interesting to see him get some goal line work. I do like having a super small goal line back, though, because he can kind of get lost in that scuffle there. Hunter Lepke had 2 carries for 4 and a touchdown. Dak Prescott had just the 1 carry for -1, and Cooper Rush had 3 carries for -2. Jake Ferguson leading the way for all receivers here. He's been getting targets, just hasn't been hauling them in really until today. 7 catches for 77 yards for him on 7 targets. Really good stuff from him, leading the way in targets. Michael Gallup, another good game. 5 catches for 60 yards. Interesting that Brandin Cooks and CeeDee Lamb were well behind Michael Gallup in this one. Jalen Tolbert had 4 catches for 53 yards. CeeDee Lamb had 4 catches for 36. Disappointing stuff there, but he did have the touchdown that saved him. Brandin Cooks, I think he's a solid drop. 4 catches for 27 yards for him. Tony Pollard had 3 catches for 13. Rico Dowdle had a catch for 8. Devontae Turpin had a catch for 5. Deuce Vaughn had a catch for 2. And Luke Schoonmaker did not haul in any of his 3 targets. So if we learned anything from this, I think Dak Prescott is kind of confirming who he is. Jake Ferguson, with Luke Schoonmaker not playing very well and him playing extremely well, I think Jake Ferguson is a really solid add right now if he's on your waiver wire. And, if you're discouraged through this performance as far as starting Tony Pollard, don't be. This was just a beatdown. Tony Pollard's going to do a lot better than this. They're going to lean on him heavier when the game is more competitive, and he'll take care of business. So don't get discouraged by Tony Pollard through this one.